Morning guys, I've just come to the Ribble Steam Railway this morning here in Preston. I'm early before everyone else and we're going to watch the train shunt to the platform. If you look closely you can just see the sentinel there. See the cab window between this rusty boiler. Hopefully we'll see it shunting. The little steam engines at the end there over this side, so we can get a picture of it. There she is, a little courageous. Hopefully there'll be a bit more shunting involved soon. Of course, Ribble Steam Railway is a working railway. They have the contracts for helping the total bitumen trains which come from the Lindsay oil refinery. These I believe are empties that will be shunted that way to the exchange sidings just off of Strand Road. Usually they're collected by a class 70 these days, but it used to be a 66 and it used to be a 56 as well. If you want to model like a heritage railway, you could indeed model something like this, so there's actual scope for having modern image stuff on a small heritage railway. It's always worth noting, and this is the good thing about a heritage railway, you've got stuff like this, then you've got stuff like this, brake vans, little 20 tonners there, and it's good getting up close to them because you don't get a sense of the size just from the models. You don't see it, so it's nice to be able to put words to it, you know what I mean. Proper wagons. Look at that, beautiful old thing. Again, with double O scale you won't pick up that texture, so the best you can do is zoom out a little bit and then it just becomes a hint of the texture. But you can see up close and personal, you can see ripples in the paintwork, you can see the wood grain. Hard to do in double O, even harder to do in N. O gauge, it's just about doable. Coal, I don't think this is real coal, I think this is that charcoal stuff. Yeah, it is, it's charcoal. And again, if you're looking for more prototype stuff, tarpaulin inside a 10-ton wagon with ventilation points there. So again, that's something you can do. Just the steam engine, so it's drawing into the shed now, uncoupled from the shunter, which you can see there. Just see it there. Hopefully we'll get to see some more shunting soon. It's a shame all these wagons are in the way, but never mind. Of course, if you want to model the Sentinel, Hornby make one. But to represent that Sentinel you need to cut the bonnet down because it's got a modified bonnet. Oh, look at that. It's like, I feel like a peeping Tom. But the little steam loco Courageous is shunting back the train now. So hopefully it should be coming up on the platform in a minute. There we are. I believe the points are already set. I hope they are. Anyway, lovely job. This is what I like about heritage railways. You can come and see the workings of the railways up close, how they used to be. Look at that beautiful old steam engine. There she is. I believe these guys are doing a Teddybear's picnic today, so there'll be a few youngsters around with their teddy bears. I've not brought mine with me though, mine's at home. Right, let's shift to a different position. Hopefully we can see it coming round now. It's always worth noting that on a small railway like this, things are often just done ad hoc, if you will, and it's nice to see them being done. The driver gets out in a minute and he switches the points over, so just try and keep an eye out for that. There he is, look, we'll just zoom in. He's jumped out, he's checking the points, he's swapping them over, and he's dropped his watch or something. I'm not sure what the delay is, but clearly he's just checking everything just so. Steam brakes off, ready to roll. Up she comes. This is why heritage railways are so important, especially if you're looking for something to model at home. Maybe you don't have a lot of space, then this is a prime example of what you can get away with without a lot of space. You can make a replica of this, or in the spirit of a heritage railway like this, in about 6 foot, and you'd have this little station scene and the space to do shunting and everything else. It's super important not to overlook these smaller heritage railways. Whether you like steam or diesel, I think if this sort of shot doesn't make you a little bit giddy, there's something clinically wrong with you. See little details like this. Your poker, your shovel, oil cans, all on this little footplate thing here. Things that you often miss when detailing a model. Tiny things like that make all the difference. Prototypical bacon butty creation. Lovely. Bit of Bud Light. I think that might be leaking. Little catch bucket there. Oh, look at this, lovely little steam engine. Little Bagnall low 60. Very nice. I think this is that new low emissions core as well. Further notes for prototypical modelling, you'll notice we have an 060 at the front and we have 3 coaches attached there, and one is a buffet car, one is a whatever that is. I don't know the names in terms of them, but the last one is a guard brake, I think. It's got a guard compartment in there, it's quite open as well. Tell you what, the old coaches really were comfortable. This is so much more comfortable than a Penny WE. And we're finally underway. Now this is quite a short little ride. It's not the longest ride you'll ever find on a heritage railway, and I believe I sat on the wrong side, because on the opposite side you see all of the mechanical workings of the railway. A lot of pieces of rubber stock which are rotting away or waiting restoration, a lot of tools for maintenance. It's a lot more visually interesting than just a fence and the backs of some people's houses. But I think we can still take inspiration from this for modelling. As you can see, we've got a little bit of track and a garden fence, and then you've got someone's back garden and a house, so you really can get quite a lot in with not a lot of space. And this, again, I'm not repeating myself, but this is the value of going to see a smaller heritage railway which has been shoehorned into a town. You've even got this little dock crossing here. Look, now the dock crossing is pretty famous in Preston, because on the other side you've got the full marina, and you've also got this little waterway as well. The bridge still swings open too every now and again to let bits and pieces come through into the marina. And we can just see now we've reached the exchange sidings, And this is where the chaps from Network Rail come with the course train. Train comes in, parks on that little line over there, runs round, and then collects the waiting empties, which will be shunted up here by the little diesel sentinel we saw before, and then they'll be taken onto the main line. This is where the jurisdiction of the Heritage Railway ends. And as you can see now, the little courageous steam engine is just doing its little run around procedure. And we're going to go take a look at the back of the train now and have a look at the recoupling. It's also worth mentioning that earlier, before we got to these sidings, the locomotive actually propelled us back into these sidings from a fair distance away using the brake second corridor. The guard sits in there with the brake handle and a window, which again we'll look at in a moment, and basically it allows the locomotive to enter the head shunt and then push back into the sidings without needing to run around in a location where we can't run around. So again, there's a lot of scope for what you can get away with in your actual modelling, basing it off of the real world, and you can just go and see this happening anywhere you want. Any heritage railway in the country, you can see things just like this. Try and zoom in for you guys. Now I know these sidings are quite long, but using compression and multiple license you could make them a lot shorter, and you could compress this run around operation quite easily. Let's have a look at this BSK, shall we? So we're actually now just looking at the back window of the BSK, and this is what the guard would have seen when he was in the back here when the train was being propelled back by the locomotive. We're just about to witness the recoupling. Not a bad coupling job, well done lads. So I didn't film the return leg of the journey, but we're back at the station now, and we're just seeing this gentleman. I believe this chap's been doing the firing today, and he's got the duty of uncoupling the train from the locomotive. And we can see now a very excited child. She actually took my tickets off me and stamped them. I think she's a volunteer. But you can see now we're doing the run around. There's those modern image wagons parked on the siding right next to the steam engine, running around its 3-coach train. This is the sort of thing you would never see in a photograph or on Google Docs or whatever. You can't beat it firsthand, coming to see it with your own eyes and living the experience, seeing the sights and the smells and the sounds. It all adds to the atmosphere, and it really is something magical, and long may it continue.
We're going to give him 12 and 1, so I'm going to get them and then cover for miles on the seat down. It sounds like you wanted to go. I don't know why. That's fine.
Here we see the loco backing onto the train for the second journey, and note the station master having a polite word with the old gentleman and the child, far too close to the locomotive when it's working, running around, arms waving all over the place, and there is a danger of the child being caught. So let's have a look and see how well we can do this coupling manoeuvre. And we are just too short. Try again, chaps. Of course, technically you're supposed to stop before coupling up anyway, so job well done, gentlemen, well done. Right, let's have a look inside the museum, shall we? And take a look at some of the exhibits. These are little information panels below the locomotives which used to work the Whittingham Hospital line up here in Preston, and it's a really nice part, it's a really important part of the local history around here for the railways. And this is a nice shot comparing what the station was in its heyday, how it was in the 60s, and then of course in the 80s when it was completely knocked down and removed. Interesting stuff to see. If you want to read it, just pause it and take your time. I'm actually just going to zoom in to this picture of the central, I suppose it's the goods yard area in the middle of the hospital grounds, and it just gives you an idea of how things worked back then, how reliant on the railways we were as a society, and how infrastructure and things like hospitals and businesses really relied on it. This is brilliant. I'm inside the cab of a Class 47. Fantastic. If I'm not mistaken, the master key port's been filled in though. That's where the master key should go. If I'm not mistaken. Should be in there. Isn't, obviously. Won't be a trip to a heritage railway without someone walking in front of your camera. That's a nice little thing. Now, as I was leaving, I looked at the back of the car park and I saw the Sentinel shunting this beauty about. This is the local pet survivor. Of course, it's the Furness Railway number 20, beautifully restored, and I really want this locomotive to feature as a model. A truly beautiful piece of history. Right then, that's it for our trip to the Ribble Steam Railway. Again, it's a local one in Preston, and I know it's only a small one compared to the likes of the Keighley Worth Valley Railway or the Severn or what have you, but that doesn't make it any less important. As we've just seen, only a snippet of the action of the day, but there is so much in the way of potential for seeing how the railway works and translating that into something we can use for modelling. That's really valuable. It's not something we get to see a lot of anymore, how the railways used to be. But we also have a new thing to model in terms of the old and the new. I think there were T-tankers with the train on the platform there running around, and you can mix both old and new prototypically. So there is a genuine excuse for modelling a heritage railway, because you can get all the operational potential that you want from a model railway without necessarily limiting yourself to a strict era and having to enforce Rule 1. You don't need to have the excuse of, oh, this is Rule 1, I can do it on my railway and my rules. Yes, that's fine. But if you want to do it prototypically, you actually can do. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. As usual, guys, do you visit heritage railways? And if you do, which is your favourite one? So until next week, take care. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.